NERDSoul.
Yeah, lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding down, bringing that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go, because we got Soultaku, y'all, and we jumping straight into it. I ain't gonna waste your time. I ain't gonna take nothing from y'all. I ain't gonna do nothing wrong like that. We gonna talk straight up about Onimusha. You know what? Okay, because I know y'all probably about to hear a sigh, and I've been talking good about Onimusha pretty much the whole season. But in this case, I'll be breaking down or not breaking down really. We're not going to go super deep into it, but I mean, the last two episodes of the season for me did let me down, kind of, man. I ain't going front. Like, it's not that I didn't like the episodes. It's not that I didn't enjoy like seeing Yemon's coming of age, with dealing with the samurai that took him in, and him learning and growing, and kind of like coming to the realization that he wanted to exterminate all the samurai. Him kind of becoming what he sort of wanted to get rid of, but maybe evolving to another point. The conversation that he had about exterminating the samurai, with under the cover of night, with the cloud covering the moon. Us seeing Kojiro and his attack, and how that played out amongst the rest of the episode, and then also finding out like the Oni were originally killed by the Genma, or at least that being said. All of that played in well, and I thought it was cool. I did enjoy seeing them battling the zombie hordes. I thought that was fun. But somehow it didn't seem as exciting or as high stakes as the first, say, 6 episodes. I felt that we were building up to something, I don't know, more spectacular, more dramatic, more stakes filled. We ended up having some real good fights. Like, you see Musashi's Oni transformation, which I thought was really cool. Of course, Kojiro coming through and Yemon saying, hey, the real game begins now. Like after he died, because when he died, I was thinking, oh, okay, well, I guess that's it, right? There's nothing else to go. But seeing, the final battle playing out from the kind of, I guess, Roman Colosseum kind of area, going down into the depths, then coming up further up to like a higher ground and keep playing with those different elements. It was cool for me. Straight up, like, I didn't mind at all. Like, the fights were cool. The Sayo part was fine. Like, it all was okay, but I don't think it hit me the way the first 6 episodes hit me. It seemed like we were climbing further and further into something that was really going to blow me away, really going to take my attention, and my focus to another level concerning their dire straits, or the depression or the emotion or the love or the hate they were feeling, and I would be on the edge of my seat. And I ended up just kind of being like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, I don't feel they did anything spectacular to really bring the show home. Now, I do like how they left it open, because we really don't know where Musashi is or isn't. Also, it was nice to see Sayo got that she brought out the brick though. She brought a brick of gold. She made sure that she got paid. She got paid real quick. Sadly, Sahe, he switched sides at the very end, unfortunately, and I felt a little bit bad for your boy Musashi, because I was like, look, y'all gonna stop calling me old, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many times you gonna call me old and I still keep killing y'all young dudes? Like, y'all gonna have to respect this game. Like, y'all gonna have to straight respect it. But all in all, it didn't really throw me over the way I thought it would. And I really hoped that it would, and it just didn't play out for me in any kind of dramatic way. And I was just like, oh, it's cool, it's okay. As a whole, do I think I would watch Onimusha again? Like, say if they bring out the second season, yeah. I think there's, for having 6 episodes that I really like, and then 2 that I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I definitely come back for more. But I just felt a sort of deflation at the end of the season, and I was just like, oh, all right, well, I guess it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? What can you do? So, from the samurai extermination, which I thought we could have seen some of, I thought that would have been cool to see some of that. But we did get a big battle, kind of interspersed with zombie attacks as well, which was cool. It just didn't really hit me the way I thought it would. So, you know what I mean? Hey, let me know your thoughts on that one. Onimusha is still okay in my book. You just ended up at like a B minus when you was in A territory at first. Now, speaking of A territory, we got boy Pluto. Shh. This case I'll be talking about episode 7, but bruh, I like the play from Tenma where he says basically when he does wake up, he may be the devil, talking about like dealing with all of those like different personalities inside of the robot at one time. But the emotional part of this episode is all centered around Epsilon, man. Epsilon, we get to see his relationship with the adopted children, and his party that they're throwing for him, the gifts that they gave him. Since his power comes from the sun, they made him the sun. They went a long way to make us connect even further with Epsilon and his children, which made me think they gonna die, and they didn't. I'm like, thank God, Epsilon made it. We'll talk about something else later, but I mean, we think about this. We've already seen Adam fall to a certain degree. We've seen your boy Gazette fall, and now it seems like it's Epsilon's turn, right? But here we in a way where we didn't get in Onimusha, we get here because we have a straight up for real battle between and some stakes, because we basically take Epsilon away and we like, yo, everything gonna be good. I'm gonna protect the kids, and psych, nah, man, Pluto coming after the chillins. All right, and the battle between them, and also the battle over Pluto's mind, where he's like, look, like, you don't have to do this. Even with him not having really the respect of the other troops, since he did not fight in the 39th Central Asian War, him kind of fighting for Pluto's mind, being like, kind of like, you don't have to do this kind of thing, and still using some restraint where he could have destroyed him. It came in handy to a certain degree. We do see, Abula's still out there. He needs to be dealt with quickly, and we'll probably see what happens in the last episode. But finding out Vasily's kind of past and how he could have died, but Epsilon saved him. The whole thing about Bora, and seeing that safe house get attacked, where we are not only losing kind of time, but we're losing men and losing time fast. I mean, they took out all of the troops. There was like one troop left, I think, or one serviceman left, and they went back to protect the kids at at Epsilon's house. So, this Pluto, I guess you could say person/weapon, is really not only a problem for the robots it's coming up against, but a problem for the public at large. And that whole thing where they came to get Vasily for the payment, like, you knew it was dirty. Like, you knew it was dirty. But all in all, this episode with Epsilon earning the respect of the military men that he had fought with due to him saving his life and standing up for these kids and being there when they needed him most. Also not shying from that fight. Adam now returning, he's new, but also hearing that kind of like the earth is going to shatter. So we don't really know what that does, where that puts us. And if you know, let me know in the comments where this is chronologically in terms of the Astro Boy storyline, like where it falls in, because I don't know a lot about Astro Boy except like the old cartoon. I've seen a couple of episodes. I remember the movie they came out in like, I don't know, 2005 or something like that, whenever that was. So I remember small things about it, but I was not like a huge Astro Boy fan. But I know that this is set in that, in that world. So I would like to know kind of like where it lands chronologically. But this is an episode that has me hyped for the finale because I really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Adam is here, Gazette is gone, but maybe he can come back. We don't know, because Dr. Tenma, we don't know what he can and can't do when it comes to his abilities now, as far as being able to be creative with how to renew and restore the minds of a lot of these robots. So, man, I'm all ears, all eyes on this next episode to see how it plays out, because I'm super stoked. I love Pluto, man. I like the trailer, but I did not think I was going to like the show this much. I really do, man. So, of course, let me know what you think about that, man, because I'm all about this show, and I'm ready for this finale. For real, for real. We'll be talking about that next week. But speaking about finales, and what's upsetting me is that girl Mizu in Blue Eye Samurai. Bruh, look. Man, yo, all right, okay. First off, this episode, I'm talking about episode 6. Seeing the opening, like the ninja garden, going in the catacombs, lock picking, all of that was cool. Like this very like covert, Mission Impossible stuff. I thought that was fly. The way they played that was awesome. Then seeing her in her determination being A1, bruh. Homegirl took like a didn't she take an arrow to the foot or to the leg or something? She kept trudging on. She got ambushed at the entryway. Didn't stop her. Homegirl is like the Terminator out these streets. And I mean, Fowler talking to the Shogun's like kind of like traders that's there with him, and him talking about he wants to kill thousands. And they were like, what? I thought you only wanted to kill like a couple people. Like, nah, man, look, one thing we do, we kill. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like he has not met his match yet because, well, you know what? I'll back that up. I'll touch on that in a second. Because maybe he has met his match, it's just a little different. But one thing I think that's cool is that we get to see the real pain Mizu is dealing with. Homegirl took a full break in the kitchen. Yo, Shorty was like, let me get a breathe. Let me get something to drink real quick. Let me relax. Let me take a step back. Because Homegirl gets ambushed, had to like kind of like steal her own sword back, sort of, because she had to like pull it to herself. She had to use grenades and stuff to beat the kind of like I guess the narcotics that they put her under with the monkeys. And after that, like those flowers had her tripping for a minute. I mean, honestly, the flowers had her tripping for the rest of the time there. But her taking a break in the kitchen just signaled to me like, yo, she is really on her game, and she is really experienced. She's getting hit hard out here, and I love that. I truly love that. Now, Tigan being like, I hate you when she finally got him out of the cell. I thought that was funny, man. Like that whole like can you walk thing. I truly enjoyed their back and forth and how their relationship has changed over time. But the battle between the giant and Mizu along with the vampires, quote vampires with the flowers kind of putting her in that hallucination. That whole animation was sick. Like, man, yo, top notch. Like straight up, top notch. I the hallucination stuff can sometimes play off corny, but here, yo, it really got me. I was I was all in. I'm still excited about what's coming next. Also, the bomb to the neck, bruh. Yo, Mizu is she is nothing if not resourceful. Like this season has been top notch for real. I'd say right now, as long as they stick the landing for the finale, I'd put this definitely above Onimusha. Where at first I thought, like from the trailers, I was thinking Onimusha would be better, but I'm definitely enjoying this more. Um, the Now there's of course we get back into anime world where Shorty scaled a wall with a grown man on her back. Do you know how heavy that is? Like, all right, let's say Tigan's coming in at around like let's say 180, 200 even, something like that. And you're climbing on a wall that isn't built for climbing. It's just kind of like a flat wall. Now, I mean, of course, there's probably, inconsistencies and stuff, what you could stick your fingers in. But, bruh, do you know the grip strength this girl got to have? Like, bruh, I didn't know she was a natural rock climber, too, bruh. Now, of course, we got to, it's TV. We gotta let it slide. But it's still, when I was like, bruh, do you know how heavy that dude probably is? Oh man, but I loved everything with the scaling of the wall and how she killed those two Shogun dudes. I thought that was awesome too. Now here's where I'm talking about Fowler's attack and me saying maybe he's met his match and then like maybe not. I'm not sure. And the reason I say that is because like we we see Tigan and Mizu go after Fowler, but neither of them are at 100%. Like, of course, Tigan's been tortured for, I don't know, like a couple days. I can't remember. It's TV time. They get funny about that stuff. But let's say he's been tortured for a couple days. He's definitely malnourished. They're not feeding him, he's not getting Ruth's Chris a la carte. And he's not getting Morton Steakhouse, you know what I'm saying? So, he's definitely malnourished. He's been tortured, so he probably got a broken bone or two, maybe some internal bleeding, I don't know. And then you got Mizu. She just got beat up, blown up, thrown all across the place, got a arrow through her leg or something, whatever. So neither of these people are their top of their game. So Fowler may have met his match. I am mad that they had to run away and escape, but I see why. Sometimes you have to regroup, but it's so hard to get in that castle, man. I don't think you ever gonna get another chance. That said, this was a heck of an episode, man. For real. I loved every minute of it. Yo, Mizu is straight up the Terminator in this. For real, and in a very good way. She is the Terminator. And I'm so happy that we got this show. But I'm gonna move on to another show that has really surprised me this year, which is Scavenger's Reign. In this episode, episode 7, where we finally get, kind of like that's not what we came here for. We came here to essentially like loot your ship, but we'll give you a ride kind of thing. Because these people did hear her distress call, her meaning Ozzy, and Terrence, Chris, and Barry come to kind of see what's going on. Unfortunately, they ship get blown up because that huge creature is just I don't know what the deal is. Like that huge creature, I don't know if he's feeding or it's feeding off of the memories of Cayman, or if it's slowly becoming Cayman. They're not, in a good way, they're not explaining exactly what's going on. And this whole planet is just so uniquely weird and also dangerous, where I don't know what in the world to do. because it's almost like the planet is not going to let anyone leave. Like Sam Sam does get cured. He gets awakened, but we don't know what that woman put in Sam. That little seed or something she put in his chest. We have no idea. And then also, the woman is apparently, I guess, not really alive, because it seemed like she was essentially being puppeted by that plant alien thingy that had its hooks in like her back. And so, yo, this planet is, y'all got to get off this planet, like straight up. Y'all got to get to the Demeter, turn on anything y'all can. Y'all got to get out of this. Like, bruh, there's nothing good on this planet. Like, every time you turn around, it's something like, something dangerous, whether it's like from a viral standpoint or just straight up predatory, tigers or something like this. Not even tigers. It's like this crazy, weird vulture spider thingies. Just look, we got to get up out this planet. But we learn through this episode that one cool thing about this planet, if you can find it, if you can learn enough, is that everything on this planet has a balancing mechanic. Like, we had the little clone stuff in Sam's arm. I guess not a medicine woman now, because she's definitely not alive. So whatever that plant was knew exactly what was needed to fix him. And just like when Ozzy had those swords on her, when she went in the water and those little fish or whatever ate the little swords away. So even though this planet is extremely dangerous, at least there are countermeasures and counterbalances for everything. The only thing is, how are you going to find them? By chance? I mean, how many people by chance would find this stuff? You know what I'm saying? So this planet and its very unique ecosystem is another beautiful. I mean, when you add on to like the Mobius style of art and everything, this is like killer animation. The weird thing is that this is on Max, and Max does have some dope. You had Primal. Primal was on Max. Primal is really awesome. So like, there's not a, I guess, a way to describe how little faith I had in this show being good since it was on Max. But I will admit, Max has Primal, which I really dug. Actually, the whole reason I got introduced to Jujutsu Kaisen was on Max. And now Scavenger's Reign, which has turned out to be, intriguing at the very least. Every episode, I gotta give it up, man. Max does have some joints. I don't know if it has enough to, really, I guess, prop up and, validate the cost of it, but that's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? But from seeing that the native part of this is almost maybe helpful, maybe, but there's definitely other creatures like the one that has Kamen inside of it that's just destroying things just for the sake of it. Because I mean, that ship really didn't have anything, at all to do with the creature. I was surprised that the creature didn't just walk by it and just keep on going. But maybe it's the memory of Kamen wanting to destroy the original ship, because it kind of played that back. So with something like this, I still definitely recommend it, man. Scavenger's Reign is awesome. I don't think they're going to get off this planet. I don't know if this is supposed to be a limited series or not, or a mini series, but I don't think they're going to make it off this planet alive, which sadly it doesn't bode well for I don't know if I'd say heroes, for our one protagonist, and the other people, or two or three protagonists. Everybody else is just like random people that they ain't really good or bad. They sort of just there. Lastly, I want to talk about the episode of Revenger, which is dealing mostly with Neo. And this is what is it? Episode 5, where you get the Doan Company and the way they deal with their, I guess you could say, their carnival of different attractions, where we find out the dude, I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name right now, but the Doan Company, the head guy is just kidnapping kids. Like whenever he sees any kids that are weird or unique looking, he just kidnaps them. And like, I guess since we're dealing with that certain period in history where there's not really a organized way to go after it and stop it, like dude's just kidnapping kids, like just taking them. And we find out that Neo is a child that was taken, and what is it? Ewan saying like, "Yo, Neo is not a thing for me to give you or for you to take," and you don't get to just take children or come and receive back what you want and things of that nature. Neo is a person that deserves to have a life, a good life, and we do see Neo kind of, she kind of plays with the books a little bit, but she's right. We don't ask where these gold coins come from. We just get the coin and we go. So, Neo has a point in this. Like, yo, one, we don't ask where we get these gold coins. Why we gotta ask now? Also, even though Ewan didn't like how it went down, like, you could have been killed this dude. You could have been stopped this stuff. And she's right. Like, you knew you could have been did this. Why you sit around and wait until I did it? So I'm on Neo's side with this. Like, yeah, she had to do some dirt to get it done, but this dude has been kidnapping kids. Now, I mean, of course, people say, they have a better life here than in the mountain. It's like, I mean, do they though? Because even though they're in the mountains and they have to kind of like hunt and stuff for their own food, they also aren't living in cages and getting beat up by random people that, just want to use them for money. So no, you can miss me with that. That's a very WS look at things where it's like, oh well, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be civilized kind of thing. It's like, no, just because we don't do what you do doesn't mean that we're uncivilized. But this episode was one that I thought we got back into the action because we got to see a team battle, which was awesome. We got a 2-on-2 with Soji, and I can't remember his name now, but Soji against the knife thrower, and then of course we got a fire breather who ended up blowing up. That was cool. And then we got to test his strength. So we got some good wrestling, we got some good knife fights, and we got a little sword action in there too. Don't sleep. So this was a good episode to get back into that action, and also a way to start asking some moral questions about what they do. And then also saying, if we're not going to ask questions about what we do, then let's not start now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I agree with you, Neo. Like, don't be up in my face asking me where I got this gold coin. We don't never ask about gold coins. Don't be asking about them now. So with that said, holler at me. I'm going to holler at you down in the comments. Let's talk about, of course, Scavenger's Reign, Revenger. We can talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, even though I covered that kind of in another episode. But Pluto, Onimusha, any of those joints. If there's another show that you're watching you think is real cool, let me know. I mean, there might be something that I just ain't up on, or maybe I haven't really regarded it yet, and what I'm saying, maybe I was sleeping. So, of course, until the next time that you have to make sure that you can cover your backside because you're trying to get away from a crazy castle full of killer monkeys and vampires and huge giants with bats. It's for me to you just saying peace.